Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video. This time, Raidraptors. I wanted to bring you this deck physically, but unfortunately, I did not have the Arsenal Falcon on me, so we got to do this digitally. Let me know in the comments if you prefer physical content or if this digital content is okay for you, because this is definitely the easiest way for me to produce content and show all the cards. Anyway, let's get into it. So let's just cut into the tech cards quickly. So we got the 9 hand traps. We have 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Droll and Rockbird, 3 Imperm. It's actually 10 with the Nibiru. And then we have Called by and Crossout. This is like a going first build. Although this could work going second as well. This is just, you really need to combo off with this deck. If you are disrupted, I mean, you could play through one Ash Blossom or an Imperm, but like a Droll, you could set something up, but it's not your ideal board. And then Nibiru could really end your turn. Not only that, a well-timed Ash Blossom or Imperm could also end your turn. So this deck is very fragile, but I really love it. Its turn 1 is very powerful with the new cards, the Rising Rebellion Falcon and the Rank Up Magic card. So on an opponent's turn, you could wipe their field, and then potentially you could have 2 unaffected birds. So the Final Fortress is another bird that could be unaffected. It just requires it to have Raidraptor card as material to be unaffected. So potentially you could have 3 unaffected towers. So it's really cool. This deck is unique in that fashion because there's not many towers decks these days, and this deck does it really well. Anyway, let's get into the rest of the cards. So in terms of the Raidraptor ratios, you could modify this as you feel like, as you play test. I mean, I run like my best cards at 3, so that's how I like to play it. So Bloom Vulture, which is the new support. This card is amazing in your hand or in the graveyard. You can only use one of its effects, once per turn. So you could either special summon this and another Raidraptor from your hand if you only control winged beasts, or in the graveyard if you control no monsters. So this could help you if your board gets wiped from the graveyard, or even on your own turn if you don't use its initial effect. So this is a great card. It's not that broken, but it's pretty good. And then Fuzzy Lanius, this is probably what you search half the time to send to the graveyard, because it has a graveyard effect to add a card, a Fuzzy Lanius to your hand. So this is a great extender. Norn Lanius, this is a decent normal summon. I mean, what it does is you could add another Raidraptor with a different level, which typically is Pain Lanius. You could go for Heal Eagle, but the thing is, you can't really combo off of this. Pain Lanius could copy the level of a Norn Lanius, and then you could Xyz from there. Tribute Lanius is another great starter, because this is what you would send Fuzzy Lanius with, and then you could continue your combo that way. Let me just fix this. And then in terms of the extenders, we have Strangle Lanius, which if you control a dark monster, you can special summon this from your hand, but you can only special summon dark monsters, which everything in this deck is dark. Samorg is a great extender. You just got to be careful, because there's certain extra deck monsters which require Raidraptors as material. So just beware of that. When we get into it, we'll take a look at that. And then the other so we have Vanishing Lanius. So I guess this used to be a good starter, but you don't always have another Raidraptor in your hand, so this isn't the best starter. And in terms of mimicry, this is just another card you could get into the graveyard to extend your plays, because this can search a Raidraptor spell or trap. So that is the basic monster count. And in terms of the spells, Raidraptor Roost is the definite one of, because this card could help you search your trap card, which is an Omni Negate. So it's always nice to have the Omni Negate on board with your Raidraptor Tower monsters. And in terms of Skip Force, this is basically what you search off of Brave Strix. This is like your main combo card, which gets you into Arsenal Falcon. And you have the new Raidraptor card, which can get you into Rising Rebellion. I mean, it can get you into any bird that you want as long as you meet its conditions. So the conditions are you need an Xyz on the field, and then anything else could be on the field or in the grave. So it works really well with a simple combo that I'll show you coming up next. And then the other one, like the old OG rank up card, which locks you into Xyz. This you just banish like levels. You banish a certain number of Raidraptors in your graveyard. Or no, is it Raidraptors? No, it's Dark Monsters. Yeah, Dark Monsters in your graveyard. So some more could be a material or any of your Raidraptors, and then you can use it plus an Xyz that you have to go into one of the higher ones. So this is another way you could rank up, and it's a quick spell. So these are your two best cards. There's actually another rank up card that you could use. I think it's called Revolution. Let's see if I can find it for you guys. Skip Force is the one we have here. Oh, I don't know what that was. Okay, anyway, there is another Raidraptor card that lets you go up one level, which can help you. I really don't remember the name of it. Anyway, it'll help you go up one level, and that could help you push past like negates and such. In terms of the extra deck, so you're running 2 Wise Strix because you run through at least one in your combo. So if you want to combo again, you need the second one. And then for the Xyz, so you run through at least 2 of these 4 Strix each combo. So you need this. So you need at least 3 of these. Raider's Knight. I like running 2 of these because if one of them gets negated, or if you want to go into Arc Rebellion on the on your OTK turn, then you need another Raider's Knight. You can't always recycle with Roost, because this can recycle cards in your graveyard or in the banish zone, but you can't always get to it. So I like having 2. I kind of like having 2 Brave Strix as well. It's something to consider. I put that in the side deck, but you don't always need the second Brave Strix. This basically just searches your Skip Force, or if you already have that, you could search like a different Raidraptor card. And then we got Arsenal Falcon. You might consider running 2 of these because this is kind of essential to your combos. I'll show you why in the combo section. And this Satellite Cannon and Final Fortress are kind of your flex cards, because this Satellite Cannon, you can destroy all spell and traps you control once it's Xyz. The quick effect, you can detach material, then target a face-up monster. So it's it's not the strongest effect. It just helps you clear spells and traps. And then Final Fortress says once per turn you can detach a material, return all your banished Raidraptors to the grave, and then twice per turn you can banish a Raidraptor Xyz and you can attack again. So this helps you clear the opponent's board, but there's other cards that can do that. So these are really the flex cards in this deck profile. You need 1 Ultimate Falcon because you go through at least 1 per combo, and I recommend 2 because you could use 2 in one combo for the Rising Rebellions, and this is so powerful because, like I said, this does the board wipe, and then it says if this has 3 or more Raidraptor XCs with different names of material, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original attack of the destroyed monsters. And then you can detach 3, then target a Raidraptor XCs in your grave. Then this card gains that monster's effects. So this card is really cool. In terms of the side deck, I have an extra Raider's Wing. This is a great extender as well. I don't know if I touched on this card at all. This card, if this card is in your hand or grave, you can detach a material from your Dark XC, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves. And then the other cool effect, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So an XC's monster that has Raider's Wing as material, you can't like target it with negation, which is effect veil or imperm and such. So that's something else to keep in mind to protect your XC's monsters. And then so there is a card I didn't include that I think is decent in this deck, which is Swallow's Cavalry. This is another way, like if your hand doesn't have the best winged beasts, Raidraptors that you need, you could just tribute it. Like if you have a Samorga in your hand, just tribute it, and then you could search out another one that you want, or an extender. So that's something to keep in mind. This is a great card to keep in the main deck, to be honest. And then these are just alternate cards you can include instead of the Satellite or the Final Fortress. Air Raid is a level 6, and this says you could target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. And then if this was destroyed, you could special summon a Raidraptor Revolution Falcon, which I didn't include. But the Rise can attack all special summon monsters your opponent controls. Once per turn, you can target a face-up special monster your opponent controls. This card gains attack equal to that monster's current attack. So you could always destroy your opponent's strongest monsters with this card. And so what was this? Revolution Falcon? This one can attack all monsters your opponents control. What does it say? It's basically the same effect as Air Raid. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into the combo and let me know what you guys think. All right, see you there. Just backseat me. Alright, let's do it again. Okay, this is a good starting hand. So, vanishing is kind of simple, so let's go with Tribute Lanyas. I already have a good extender in my hand, but let's just activate. Oh. Samorg activates because a Wing Beats was normal summon. So there you go. I could always just special summon this, but let's. So I already have the Fuzzy in my hand. So let's send. So Heal Eagle could add a spell or trap from the graveyard to my hand. So let's go with that. No, I'm sorry. Let's send Bloom Vulture. So if we get interrupted, we could go into this. Okay, we special summon this. And then, so your first play, so if you feel like you're gonna get negated, you gotta go into 4 Strix, because then you can extend in other ways. But if you're just doing the standard combo, you just go into Raider's Knight, activate its effect, send, so I'll show you how Fuzzylanius works. To go into Brave, so activate Fuzzylanius' effect to add the same card to your hand. So this is, I guess, for next turn at this point. Then you gotta activate Brave Strix. So you have 2 choices. You could set a Raidraptor spell trap or add the rank up. So we don't have the rank up in our hand, so we gotta go for it. And let's send Raider's Knight. And then this is something we'll pick up later. So we gotta go for Skip Force because we gotta go into Arsenal Falcon first. So let's go into Arsenal Falcon. And the beauty of Arsenal Falcon is this card by itself would just get you into your tower. So let's remove Brave Strix. Let's special summon. So the one you want to special summon is Mimicry, because this can add you an extender to your hand. I'll show you. So this will just increase the levels of the monsters you control, which is not really something you need to do right now. So you don't need to activate that, but you need to go into Wise Strix. So you go into Wise Strix, then activate its effect. So the way you want to chain block, so you kind of need the monster that gets special summoned here. Is imagine if you don't have some org on the field. So you special summon Chain Link 1, and then you activate Arsenal Falcon as Chain Link 2 to go into. So you literally can go into any XCs you want for free. And you know, if you go in second, you could pop their spells and traps. Or if you want to clear their field, you go into Final Fortress Falcon. But typically, you just go into Ultimate Falcon here, and then you could special summon a card, but it will be negated. But you can special summon a card. Typically, you go with Raidraptor, because that is a good graveyard effect. And then you could set the new rank up card. And then what you do from here is you activate Mimicry, and then you could add an extender to your hand. So you add Strangle. Interestingly, Strangle could special summon another card, so let's just do that here. So imagine we don't have some org on the field. This can bring back anything that you want. Let's bring back Bloom just for fun. So I guess you could have sent Raiders X-Wing, but you know, we already got this far, so so we gotta go into our 4 Strix here. So something to keep in mind. So since we had enough cards to go into the XCs here, which we need on the field to blow up the opponent's field on next turn, we could have went for Roost here instead of you know, Strangle, and then search Glorious Bright, which is the trap. Just so you know. No. Okay. So let's send this back. And then you just kind of search for next turn. So let's go for Raider's Wing. Okay. And you could literally activate this right now, but it doesn't really serve a purpose in my opinion. So these are kind of just sitting here. You could go into another 4 Strix, but there's no purpose. So you're just kind of wasting. So these are kind of excess materials at this point. And then let's go to the end phase. So this has like an optional effect for the opponent didn't control any monsters. So yeah, we're gonna let that go. playing Lightsworn. Wait, what? It's the end phase? Okay. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but what you're able to do from here is you target the 4 Strix and the Raiders are in the grave and the Brave Strix in the grave to go into your Rebellion Falcon. This can pop all the opponent's monsters. Well, yeah, that's really the main combo. Typically, this will get you. This will get you the win. So we're back. Yeah, let me know if you guys enjoy this type of content, or if you prefer physical cards, because then I'd really have to be very careful which decks I choose. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care.